Hey everybody, it's Missy. Thanks for joining me again today. This layout is for Citrus Twist Kits, and it's my first layout using the 2016 February main kit. And I'm going to be scrapbooking this very bright picture of my daughter, and she's wearing a bright green shirt in front of some really bright pink azaleas. And so it's a very challenging photo to scrap. I've been waiting for a while. And these kits are perfect. I love the Maggie Holmes Bloom collection elements that are in the kit. And I think the colors are perfect because they have some of that bright pink and the green mixed in. And I'm going to pull in some yellow as well. And I think it's really going to contrast nicely. So this is one of the Maggie Holmes Bloom papers, and it's the cut apart sheet. And so I'm going to use a few different elements from it, and I don't use everything that I've cut, but I do use most of it. I wanted to incorporate that really pretty yellow floral, and I definitely wanted to use this Love, Love, Love card just because the colors are so pretty, and you can see some of that floral in some of the letters there. And I think it goes well with the photo. And normally when I have a hard to scrap picture because of colors, I print it in black and white. But the colors in this kit, or in this picture, were just too pretty. And so I had to make it work with color. So I'm starting with the white cardstock, and I'm just going to add some clear gesso because I do want to add some color to the background. And one of the colors in the kits this month is this really pretty teal color. And so I pulled out some of my pearly shimmery watercolors here, and I'm just going to create some of this color on the background. And I'm going to start with the packaging technique and then just come in with the brush and add in this color. And when I'm using, florals, and this picture is outside and it just reminds me of spring and summer, not spring and summer, but spring and sunshine, that's what I was trying to say, and flowers and just bright colors and beautiful weather. I kind of like to incorporate this blue into my pages to kind of mimic a sky. And I'm not necessarily creating a landscape, but I feel like adding in a blue color reminds me of a landscape. And so I wanted to create a little bit of this blue aqua teal shade behind everything, if that makes sense. That's what I was thinking at this point, because this really pretty shade of blue is in some of the papers. It's in the background of that card with the yellow floral on it. And so that's what I'm doing here. I'm just trying to create a little bit of color to pull from that card. And this is just a cheap set of watercolors from Michaels, and it's the iridescent set. And so as you can see, they're very shimmery and sparkly when they dry. I want to add a little bit of different shading, so I just come in with one of my gelatos here and my water brush and just add a little bit more, just so I have a little bit of darker color there. I've got a lot of different, watercolors, gelatos, paints, inks, and things like that, but I could not find this particular color, and so I pulled out this set of colors, and it worked perfectly. So I did want to work in some yellow, and this is just some Heidi Swapp butter color, and it's the perfect light yellow. It's bright, but to me it's also a very light shade of yellow, and I'm going to smudge some of it around. I didn't want to make too much of a green color, so I didn't want to mix the yellow and the blue too much. I wanted to kind of keep them separate. So I'm making sure not to blend too much together. So I know my main design is going to be centered here, and my picture is smaller than those cards. So I'm going to do a lot of embellishing to, make that photo stand out. And I just kind of have fun here for a while with the inks, the sprays, and the gelatos, just adding color here and there. And that's one of my favorite things about doing a messy watercolor mixed media background it's supposed to be messy, and you can't really mess it up. And so just keep working at it until you get it like you like it. Now this is the exclusive printable cut apart sheet, and this little piece here says Beauty, and it is the perfect shade of green. It matches my daughter's shirt just perfectly. And I'm going to use this little tab here that is yellow, and it's got a little bird on it, and I believe it says Fly Away, and the colors are just working very nicely. I'm loving how this is coming together. That pink ampersand is from the Pink Paisley C'est La Vie ephemera pack, and that doily is an exclusive. So to play on the idea of florals, I wanted to add some more floral elements to my background, and so I just pulled this flower stamp from my stash and some of my Heidi Swapp inks from my stash, and I'm going to stamp this flower onto some vellum. I wanted some subtle flowers on the background, and I didn't want to stamp directly onto the cardstock. And so by stamping onto the vellum, it's going to allow me to create a subtle look, and I'm going to be able to cut it out and move it wherever I want it. And I'm just playing around with some of the blue and teal inks here, and I did stamp a pink one, but I don't wind up using it. And so since this is on vellum, as it dried, it kind of spread a little bit, and so it made the edges of the flower a little bit wider than the stamp actually is. And when it dried a lot lighter, and that was fine with me because I wanted it to be subtle and soft. And so that's exactly how it turned out. And I just kind of want to peeking out in a couple of spots. I just wanted to continue the floral idea, since there are flowers in the picture and there are flowers in one of the cards and in that little teacup that I fussy cut out from one of the cards as well. And so I love how that looks. I think it's fun, and I think it's really pretty and different. And I'm going to use a little bit of this vellum to back behind my photo. And the vellum is not in the kit. That is from my stash. I always have some tissue paper or some vellum on hand for layering or for creating fun embellishments like this. And I really like the way it looks behind a picture, because it creates a nice little matte behind the picture, but it also gives it some texture and some interest without being overpowering. And with my picture being so colorful and busy, I didn't want to, add any other papers directly behind it to make it even more busy. So I'm going to stick everything down and get it all adhered, because I know that that's how I want it to look. And now I'm going to come in with different little pieces here and there. I am going to add some tangled thread, and this is just your basic yellow sewing thread. I'm going to tangle it up, and I mainly wanted a pop of yellow over there on the left, and so that's what the thread allows me to do. It creates awesome texture, but it also just adds some color. If you don't have anything in your kit that in a specific color that you feel like you need on a certain part of the page, grab some thread or some floss and do this technique, because it's a great way to add that little extra bit of color. And it's very, you can use as much thread or as little as you want to add that in there. And I also added in a little bit of the light blue color there at the top. I'm going to raise my picture up, and so I add some pop dots behind it, and that just gives it a little bit of height and makes it stand off the page a little bit more. And just to secure all of that thread, I'm going to add a little bit of glue underneath the cards there. And I love how this is turning out. It's very simple, yet I think it complements the photo really well. And the color, just, I've had these photos for years, and I've waited for the right time to scrap them. And I love when you get your papers and your stickers and your kits, and you know immediately, hey, I have the perfect picture for this stuff. And it matches, and it's just one of those things that you wind up loving because it just coordinates so well together. So these are from the Pink Paisley C'est La Vie collection, and they're puffy stickers, and they are so fun. I love the quality of them. I love the color, and I love all of the fun hearts, the words, the little arrow that I'm going to use down there at the bottom. They are really awesome. I stuck down the little beauty piece there on the right, and I definitely wanted to use this little C'est La Vie piece. It's one of the acetate pieces. I'm going to staple down that little arrow tab right there. And this is one of my favorite things about the Citrus Twist kits, is you always get this really fun printable cut apart sheet here. And this is a little banner that's going to say you, and I'm going to use that over there on the right, and I'm going to stitch it down so it looks like an actual banner. But I don't keep it right there. I wind up moving it to the right. And in the C'est La Vie ephemera pack, you get a lot of these clear acetate pieces, and they are gorgeous. And there are also elements that are, paper. They're not see-through. They're not clear. And they are all so pretty. It's very hard to pick which ones to use because everything is gorgeous. I love these thickers. They are the perfect color. They match that light blue teal color perfectly. And I wasn't sure what my title was going to be, and so since I already had the love, love, love card there, I just decided to add my daughter's name here. I definitely wanted to use those thickers because the blue is the perfect pop of blue, and I love the font, and I love that you get different sizes. You have a large set and a smaller set, and they're all uppercase, but you get small ones and large ones, and so I just decided to mix and match. And this came together really nicely. I was very, very pleased with how all of these elements from crepe paper and Pink Paisley just worked so well together. I was really, really happy with the results. So I'm just going to add in another little cut apart piece here. I'm going to wind up using it vertically right there. And so the last thing I'm going to do is add in some journaling and my date stamp, and I did add some machine stitching after I turned off the camera. And I'm going to stitch some light blue thread through the top of the U banner just to make it actually look like it's hanging. And I'm going to add a couple of zigzags, well, not zigzags, but straight stitches through that little love card and a little bit underneath my journaling. And there's the final page. You can almost see the stitching from this far, but I love how it turned out. I love the layering and I love the colors. This was the perfect kit to scrap this photo, and I'm so excited because it just worked out really nicely. So I hope you enjoyed watching this. I hope this gives you some ideas of how you can use your kits. And please let me know if you have any questions or anything that I might have left out or anything that you'd like to know. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see y'all next time.